Hello, Proxy Table Gaming fans. We are PTG, Hyper G, and Lucky Sixes. Hello, Lucky Sixes.
Hot off the presses. Hot off the presses.
It is a big day in the world of the Ninth
We
Age.
got some
And a big
breaking
day for...
news.
I know we do. And I
Infernal
don't know
Dwarves are
how.
out.
I don't know how it's ended up with us.
No, I don't know.
Yeah, we've got an army book to talk about, haven't we? A new army book.
Yes, very exciting. Very exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so
we're very privileged to be given this book early.
yeah. So this video will come out on the Thursday, on the day of release, but we've had this for a little while and done a few notes on it, and we're going to talk you guys, you lucky people, through it.
Yeah, offer our non-expertise on this book.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're just excited to get a new book, and then we realised we don't play Infernal Dwarves.
At all. Never have.
So,
Although, technically, we did win the Wooden Spoon tournament with them.
Yeah, exactly.
So you know.
We know
that
only the worst things in the old book that are now irrelevant.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Which puts us in pretty good stead, really.
I think so. I think there's no one else you'd rather have talk you through the book than us, is what we're concluding there.
Yeah. So how are we going to do this? Probably we'll try and be as quick as possible, but
yes,
bear in mind, guys, it is a full book, and we're going to try and get. We're not going to skip anything. So this may be not a 10-minute video.
No, it's already 3.
Yeah, is it? Blimey.
So no, I don't know. Actually, that was a guess.
So yeah, pause it now. Go get a drink and then come back.
Yeah, but we can carry on because they're paused. Yeah. Let's do it.
So, Ninth Age Battles, Infernal Dwarves Army Book, 8th of... Oh, it says 8th of May, but it should be the 14th, I guess. But there we go. So, straight into the army model rules. These are a bit hard out of context, so we're just going to sort of not skip through them, but go over them quickly and sort of give you a bit background to what they are. So, Fires of Industry is basically there's some models that are to do with shooting that gives you a restriction, and that's 0 to 6 per army, and that will become much more relevant later on.
Yes, it'll make more sense when we actually get to the units that they affect.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you say this incendiary.
Yes, incendiary. Yeah.
So this is the flammable rule. So this makes a unit that you're engaged with, makes a unit flammable, not necessarily that you're engaged with, it goes away after either a shooting or a combat round.
Yeah, so like this rule foxed me when I first read it. I was like, what on earth? And if this is the first time you've read it, which it probably will be, you might think, well, I don't get that at all, especially if you've read through it without us talking, and you probably still don't get it. Basically, you can put incendiary attacks on the enemy unit, giving them flammable and instances of incendiary. And then, because you've given them flammable, you attack them with flaming attacks, you get rerolls to wound. But then after you've got those rerolls to wound, you take away an instance of incendiary, meaning they are no longer flammable, potentially.
Yeah.
And therefore you lose your rerolls to wound. But obviously, incendiary stacks, so you can have more than one instance of it, etc. So it's
a little bit like the old Hereditary, right?
Yeah. So with the Hereditary, you could stack flammable, yeah.
And we say the old Hereditary because the new one is dope.
Oh, baby.
But hold your horses. So the next one, another fairly one you have to definitely read and understand, Infernal Brand. So the model considers all units that do not contain models with Infernal Brand insignificant. So anything that doesn't have it, it's insignificant, doesn't panic, etc. from it. It can be joined or only join models with Infernal Brand. So if you've got Infernal Brand, you can join Infernal Brand. If you haven't, you can't. Simple. This next bit is probably the most key bit to think about in terms of synergy and stuff. In addition, models without Infernal Brand in units within 6 inches of a friendly non-fleeing model with Infernal Brand gain battle focus and must reroll charge range rolls in the charge phase. So that doesn't mean you start with it and then to the end of the turn. If you're within 6 inches, you get it. But
Yes.
the Infernal Brand unit doesn't get it.
Correct. It doesn't affect the actual
So,
Infernal
yeah.
Brand unit themselves.
So there's not as many as you'd think for non-Infernal Brand units, but in the book. But
yeah, I
it
think
just means
it's
you
one of
can
those that you
buff them
can
up.
try and use to your advantage if you pick a list where it'll help.
Absolutely. So
Yeah,
and that'll become apparent again when we go through the lists.
it kind of replaces. Sorry,
Go
it
on.
kind of replaces the old rule, with chosen of Asherak, I think.
Okay.
Which used to be a bit giving you battle focus in the second round of combat is what they
Sure.
used to have.
Yeah. So that's
And
and
this has replaced it.
that's the big army-wide rule, isn't it? Infernal Brand.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
So next one. Do you want to do that one?
Yeah, can do. So Toruk Ritual. The model is subject to the following modifications. It gains cannot be stomped. Impact hits 1 and tall. It loses march and shoot. Its advance rate is set to 7. Its march rate is set to 14. And it gains +1 armor. Its base size is changed to 25 by 50 millimeters. Its type is changed to beast. So yeah, so this is basically a way of getting your characters to be Toruks, pretty much.
Yeah, it changes
And
your person into a Toruk.
I think this is so cool.
Yeah.
I really do, because it means you can have your normal infantry characters and now change them into Toruk models and have more Toruk-like army selection options.
Yeah, absolutely. It's nice.
Yeah. So for me, I mean, this one's tough to look at until you actually start looking at the Toruks.
Yeah.
But
Sure. Like we said, we'll go over them and then do it. So the next three are attack attributes for the shooting, what are they called? Artillery weapons stuff.
Gunnery teams and
and artillery weapons. So the first one is basically if something gets hit, something within 6 inches gets a D3 +1, hits at strength 4, AP 1.
So it's like a shrapnel attack.
Yeah,
really,
which is
but they've
cool.
called it cluster.
It can only be one unit, so if you've got 7 units around and within 6, it's not 7 of that. You have to choose.
No, you do get to choose though.
You get to choose, so that's quite cool. Ether Cloud, is that what you say? Ether Cloud?
Oh, either. I'd probably say either, to be honest. Yeah.
That's my initial impression, but who knows? So -1 discipline on panic tests, which is cool. And then if that unit gets hit and it has a wizard or something, it loses a Veil token.
Yeah, really cool. That is actually, you take a Veil token away from their pool.
Yeah.
You don't steal it and get it yourself.
I mean, you can get around it, I guess, by not saving any, but
yes, you can. But a lot of the time, just by default, you're going to have a Veil token in the pool because you haven't been able to trade them all in. So
for sure.
Yeah.
And then the last one, Kadim Manifestation. So this is also for close combat. Gives you the attacks become flaming and it stacks as well. And if you get multiple instances of it, you also get divine with it, which is cool, man. So that's on your shooting and your close combat. And again, when you see some of the combinations, that is pretty cool.
Yes, I mean divine attacks are very hard to get hold of anyway these days. So for something that automatically gives you flaming and says if you can find another way of getting flaming, then you'll also have divine attacks. Pretty switch.
And this is the Infernal Dwarves book. There's plenty of ways.
There really are. Yeah, loads.
They got matches galore. Blimey. Right, next one. Oilskins. So do you want to go through this one?
Oh, thanks. You are cheeky. You know that. You've given me Toruk and oilskins. Brilliant. Okay, so model parts with this rule may, immediately before performing a melee attack, set the strength of their attacks to 1 until the end of the round of combat. Next paragraph repeats that, but says shooting attack.
Yep.
And if you use it on a shooting attack, you lose 6 inches from your range of your shooting attack. And if so, all model parts with oilskins in the unit must use them. If one or more of these attacks hit, the target gains 1 instance of incendiary after resolving these attacks.
And incendiary, for people that didn't remember, is?
We mentioned it earlier. Incendiary makes a unit that you've targeted flammable and therefore gives you rerolls to wound if you've got flaming
So
attacks.
this is where you start beginning
synergy.
begin to see the synergy, yeah. There are a few things with oilskins, few things with Kadim, and you will see the combinations of that. So
Absolutely. And
already,
one of the interesting things with this, sorry to cut you off there.
No, please.
One of the interesting things there is that you only actually have to hit with these oilskin attacks.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter that the strength is only 1 and that you're going to struggle to wound.
I think that's the idea,
only
isn't
have
it?
to hit.
If you use the oilskins, you don't expect to do any wounds. You're just making them flammable for later.
Yes, exactly.
Which is nice. So going on to the next bit, special attacks, Volcanic Embrace. This is a grind attack with strength 4, AP 0, and has grind attacks X. So, yeah, you will see that some things have 1, some things have D3, and some things, when we get to an item, have more.
Yeah. And what's this done? It's replaced their old Volcanic Embrace rule. So instead of it being just straight up its own rule, it's now given them grind attacks.
Yeah.
And the old version used to be agility 0. The new version being grind attacks means they attack at the same time as you. So at your own agility, which is quite a big change.
Huge buff.
It is very much better in all ways.
So yeah, that's cool. Then go on to the armory, and again, so even though it's got the like the artillery weapons here and stuff, those attack attributes, were they before, can be added onto them. And again, we'll see in a lot more detail later about these as well. It might even be worth waiting for later to get into to them as well. But we'll go on to the initial armory. So the Infernal armor, plate armor, gives you 6 up flaming attack, or it gives you 5 up to flaming, basically.
Yes, it's strange how they've reworded this one. It used to say a flat 5 up Aegis against flaming. It now says 6 up Aegis against flaming and +1.
I imagine that's just because of the way things go about adding on to it.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. I can't possibly guess why they've worded it like that, but they obviously have reasons. So
yeah, that's it. So yeah, simples, and a lot as Infernal armor now. Blunderbuss. So there's a blunderbuss and a flintlock axe would kind of do together because there is an extra restriction on that.
Yes.
So anything with flintlock axe or blunderbuss, you can only have 60 per army. And that's because I think they're class. But yeah. So you may remember them from previous iterations. So we're sort of going to go through them and the differences between how they now you will use them now, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So blunderbuss is the one that's changed the most, I think, because it used to be all sorts of extra rules about firing in extra ranks and what you could achieve with them. They've kind of replaced that with a much simpler area attack 2x1.
Yes.
Which means every time you hit, providing you're hitting a ranked up unit, you get 2 hits for every time you hit, basically.
Yeah.
Is how it works.
It used to be strength 5, AP 0 as well?
It used to be strength 5. I'm not sure about the AP. Let me check.
I've got that in my head. But yeah, so I mean, even
it used to be strength 5 AP 0. It's now strength 3 AP 1.
So it's still gonna be good against infantry and chaff, because of the AP 1 and because strength 3 is still good. Failed to hit rolls of 1. Must be re-rolled when you're at short range as well. That's quite a nice little thing. Quick to fire as well.
So that.
Yeah, it was quick to fire last time, was it?
No. It was quick to fire last time. But now you've lost you used to have no penalty for standing and shooting. You've now got a penalty as normal.
Yeah, sure. So it's a different
short range. Yeah.
Different, but I think overall better.
I think overall better. Obviously, you're going to say it's only strength 3, but I think that just brings it in line with more weapons of its type. So.
Yeah, sure. So that's cool. Then flintlock axes. So again, 18-inch range. Strength 4, AP 2. I think that's similar to what it was before.
It's exactly the same.
Is the actual weapon itself the same? +1 strength, 2 undead.
Yes, it is. The only difference is they've clarified a bit on the weapon enchantments.
Sure. So that's very similar to last time.
It is. I think the only real difference is that you can enchant it, whereas you couldn't before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all I
can see.
Cool. Again, we'll move. We won't go over these now, but you've got the naphtha thrower, flamethrower, a volley gun essentially, and a catapult. We'll move. Yeah, we'll come back to those later.
Not volley gun.
Yeah. We'll come back to those later because we'll do them in a bit more detail. And then you got to finish off the infernal weapon, which is a halberd but one-handed. So
yes,
+1 strength, +1 AP.
Yeah. And it used to be that you couldn't enchant them. Now you can.
And now you can. Cool. So straight on, we'll crack on to the Hereditary Spell, one of my favourite things in the book.
Really? Okay.
Well, you've essentially got another Wrath of God. That is cool, man. That is cool. So it works in a very similar way. It does. In terms, you can put it anywhere within 96. It's 7+. That seems low to me.
That is quite low, yeah.
That seems like a very low casting roll for this, but anyway. So all the same, you put a counter down. 1 to 3, you add a counter. 4 to 6 comes down. 2 to 6 range. All that's the same. The big difference here is it's dangerous terrain rather than strength 5, right?
Yeah.
So it's dangerous terrain 1, and if something is flammable, again, so going back to what we were saying before, it's dangerous terrain 2.
Yes.
So again, you really start to see all of the combinations coming together, or the potential for it anyway.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's a synergy thing again.
Yeah, and there is lots of that, which I really like. In this book. But yeah, it's a class spell. I really like it.
Yeah, I do. I agree that 7-up is probably quite a low casting value, but at the same time, people are going to say, well, whereas Wrath of God is doing lots of damage to you potentially, this one is a bit of a slow burner in that it requires your opponent to have to take dangerous terrains in order to do anything.
Yeah,
the opponent can easily avoid it by just not marching or not charging. But at the same time, if you're forcing your opponent not to do those two things, then you're somewhat restricting their chances of attacking you. So, yeah, all good.
No, they don't not do it if they don't march or charge. They have to take a dangerous terrain test.
Yeah, okay. Oops.
You just take it.
Oh, so it's just a straight up test.
It's one of those where the thing has to roll to wound, and then you roll your save, the Wrath of God.
Yeah.
But this one is just you roll ones, you have no armor. So your ward saves or Aegis saves, fair enough. But
you're right. Actually, sorry. I've completely misinterpreted that. Interesting.
Yeah, I think this is good. I think 7+ is very low and very nice.
Yeah.
But yes, so there's a Hereditary Spell. One of my favourites.
Nice. Yeah, apologies for my confusion.
Special items, so weapon and armour. And so we'll sort of compare, but we'll just go through them. Onyx Core is your Kadim Manifestation is another test. Did you remember what that is?
Yeah, I remember what Kadim Manifestation is. It gives you flaming attacks, magical attacks, and if you get an extra instance of flaming, you get divine attacks.
Ching, ching, ding, ding. He's got it, boys and girls. And multiple wounds D3 against flammable. Again,
flammable, eh? I wonder how you could get something to be flammable.
Thought? And obviously, if it's flammable, you're also getting rerolls to wound as well. So
yes, you are. Yes.
Yeah, good weapon. It's come down a lot, but I think that's because of other reasons.
It's lost 65 points from its 60 points from its total. Yeah.
But yeah, there are reasons for that, and we'll get into that. Triple speed, which is another Flintlocks axe specific.
It's a new weapon.
Yeah, we should say Onyx Core is only for infernal weapons as well. So Flintlock axe specifically has triple speed available to it. Are really nice. Shots 3, set to 3, +3 attacks, and can never hit on worse than a 3+.
Yeah, I think if you're giving a character a flintlock axe, then you should always take this.
Yeah.
Because it's very good.
No,
Um,
I like it a lot.
yeah, yeah, I do too. It's a nice new weapon.
It'd be interesting to see sort of combinations with that.
Mm,
Last one, so close combat, go on anything. Flame of the East and Volcanic Embrace 2d3. So
yeah,
smash that up.
it's grind attacks. So
Yeah.
if you didn't have Volcanic Embrace, you gain it, which means you gain grind attacks. But the interesting thing about this is that if you already had Volcanic Embrace, then you get an extra 2d3
Yeah.
grind attacks.
So if you had Volcanic Embrace D3, you now have 3d3.
Yeah, and you also manage to keep your impact hits, even though
Yeah.
grind attacks usually are a
Yeah, that's
replacement for
another thing
impact
with
hits.
Volcanic Embrace. Actually, I didn't say you get that as well as impact hits, which is
Yes,
cool, man.
yes, it is. Mainly because the models that have Volcanic Embrace also have impact hits. So
Yep.
it's kind of like, yep, by the way, every other unit in the game has to choose one or the other, but we don't.
Yeah, man, that's cool.
Yeah, really good.
So armor, Mask of Ages. So it gives you Whispers of the Mask, See Immortals, and We Will.
Oh, we will.
And it gives you +1 armor. So we're gonna save that. So remember Whispers of the Mask, and there's a reason this
Yeah.
is 60 points. Blaze of Protection is a shield enchantment. It gives you +1 armor, fearless, and it's interesting really. Every model in base contact with a bearer that could allocate attacks against it, but doesn't, receives a Strength 4 AP 0 flaming attack. That's cool.
It's interesting because if you don't choose to attack the model that's got it, then he's going to get extra attacks.
Yeah.
But if the model has got it is pretty beefy, then you might have to just attack him to avoid the extra attacks anyway.
Yeah, yes.
So
I mean,
it's
that's
like
an elf.
a way of
There's an elf
soaking
killer
up.
right there. It's going to kill 3 elves. right,
Yeah,
right
definitely.
there.
Yeah,
But yeah, no, I
it's a
like
really
it.
interesting one.
It's cute. I think that one.
Yeah, it is considered a special attack though, so
Yeah,
there are
things with that.
various ways that could be worked around.
Yeah. Another shield enchantment, Kadim Binding. The bearer's weapon loses two-handed, so you can use it with a great weapon, for example.
That's so cool. So cool.
While using the shield, adds Aegis +1 against flaming attacks, max 2+, and parry. So you get your parry, which is nice, and
Yeah.
I imagine off the bat, if you had say infernal armor, you have four up to flaming, but obviously you can get better. So that's nice. I
think that taking away two-handed weapons means is quite a good thing because you get parry with it as well.
Yeah.
So you basically get parry with a great weapon, or parry with a halberd, or parry with an infernal weapon, which is very nice because usually parry only comes with hand weapon shield.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, some nice items there. Like all of them, I'd use as well.
I think so. Yeah, I think they're all worth considering.
Yet to see the points, but yeah, interesting. Banner enchantments. The first one, Pride of Zalaman Takash.
Yeah, I can't wait for some sort of story to come out about that.
So basically, use once only. You put a wall in front of your unit.
Yeah.
In a nutshell.
Yes.
That's cool.
It's quite flavourful. You cannot be engaged when you do it, so you have to have some
plan,
some form of plan.
But once it's there, isn't it?
Yes, it can't be taken by core.
Yeah.
So it's a bit like a special wall.
Yeah, it'd be interesting
really.
how that gets played and stuff.
Yeah.
Trial of Asheruk Magic Resistance 2 that is also applied to friendly spells and any unit you're in base contact with.
Interesting one. This one. I'm not convinced.
Yeah, I mean, so it works against your buff spells, right?
Yeah. So, well, yeah. So basically, if you want to buff the unit with it, then you've got to cast it on a higher value. Yeah.
So it's stopping.
It's a tricky one.
It's stopping people magic missile. Yeah. If you get into another unit with it, does it then? If they try to buff that unit, is it magic resistant 2 on their unit?
Only if they're in contact with them.
Yeah.
With you, yes. Yeah, it would be.
So if they get in contact with your unit and then try to buff their unit because it's on their turn in their magic phase, whatever, they charge into you, then it's harder for them to get buffs on them.
Yeah, pretty much. So you're pretty much creating like a silence effect on that area of the battlefield.
So it's a bit situational, a bit fluffy.
Mm.
But yeah, okay, well, cool.
It's cheap enough to be interesting.
Yeah.
If you can find the right use for it, I think it's okay.
Yeah, sure. Cool. Last one's in artifacts, I think. Breath of Brass Ball, +1 health point, which is nice, and Toxic Breath Weapon. What's not to like poisoning girls? Cannot be taken by Towering, but that's fine.
There's plenty of options.
So that's cool. Tablet of Vezandinez.
Good effort.
I think that was pretty good. I like this item a lot. I'm big into this item. So any ones, treat a single one, as a 3.
Yes.
So you roll 1,
so
3, 3.
Cast. Yeah.
It's actually a triple 3.
Yeah.
So that would be interesting as well. And it
changes a triple 3 into something else.
So it changes. If the bearer would suffer a Witchfire miscast effect, treat it as a magical inferno instead. Off the top of my head, I can't remember what those are.
I'm getting to it now. Hang on.
Nice.
So instead of a Witchfire, which is normally triple 2, you would, because you're only instead of a triple 2, you're getting a triple 3, which means you're getting the 2d6 hits instead of 1d6 hits.
Okay, so
there is a consequence.
There's a consequence, but it's not directly related to that roll.
Okay, no, and potentially you could be using 3 or more dice. So
sure.
Good.
No, cool. I like it. I think that's a nice thing. Again, points wise, I don't know whether that is OP or not. I don't.
It's situational, because if you don't roll any ones for the whole game, then you've paid for nothing.
I don't think I've ever rolled a 1. So.
Yeah, I think I'll take it every time.
So next one, Ring of Desiccation, gives the bearer's model or any unit in contact with the bearer's model incendiary. And that is flammable. So
that's nice.
Synergies, boys and girls, get your synergies in.
Quite expensive though.
Yeah,
60 points.
Yeah, it is. But you're definitely getting it. Unflame, I think that's probably so far the most auto pick thing in the game.
Really? You like that?
Yeah. Well, there's so much flaming attacks about. It'd be silly not to, but yeah. Anyway,
there's also the -3 agility, which isn't to be sniffed at either.
That's on Unflame.
You've not gone on to Unflame. Sorry. No. Yeah. You think Desiccation is takeable? Okay, yeah.
Next one, Unflame. So it takes away your flaming attacks and -3 agility on the bearer's model unit in contact with. That wasn't very well described, but yes. So that's good if you come across anything with a 2-up Aegis to Flaming, which is quite a few characters.
Yes, so you can just turn off your previous strength, which was flaming attacks. Yeah.
But as you said, the -3 agility is big as well. So
I think so. I think it is. The only downside of this one is it's one use only. But
and unlike some of the one use only, it's only one player turn. It's not till the combat ends.
Exactly. Yeah.
So deal with them there and then, boys, or it's coming back.
Yeah. As soon as they'll get their Aegis back up after this turn, so kill them while you can.
Golden Idol of Shamut. So increases their advance rate and march rate, and gives you glory gold. Nice, simple.
Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, I think just so long as you're not wasting the advance rate by putting it on something that's automatically quicker.
Yeah,
I think you're all good.
And
with
glory gold obviously gives you flaming attacks. So
yeah, and flammable.
Come on,
attribute.
Come on, guys.
You can see where we're going.
Luger's dice, reroll a single to hit to wound or armor save per player turn. I like the
That's
per
cool.
player turn.
I like that. Yeah, 40 points for that is really good.
Yeah,
because you can potentially use that 6 times. So.
Yeah, it's bargain. And simple as well, so I like it. Gauntlets of Madab. Bearer gains +1 strength AP. Any close combat attacks that roll a 1 to hit are distributed against the bearer's unit or itself if it's single model. So a nice easy way to get higher strength, but at a cost.
Yeah, this is a bit vermin swarms for my liking, but still, it's like if you roll a 1, you're hitting
Infernal
yourself.
Dwarves, they're all demons and making deals, aren't they? So
I think it's cheap enough to be okay though. So
yes, I agree, and fun as well. Right, so that's items done. Army organisation. So we'll talk for a few seconds about this. So a lot less restrictions in this bit. So there used to be 6 categories, Although, as we've already come across, we've got the 6 shooting restriction, which
and also the 0 to 60 blunderbuss and flintlock restriction.
You got it. So off the bat, I like that it's sort of simplified and then has 2 other separate things. It's similar in reality, but I think it comes across as much more simpler and easier to understand. So
definitely,
cool.
No, I think so because you're doing less checking your categories at the end of your list.
Yeah, for sure. And right, characters. And thankfully, it starts with the Overlord because this is my second favourite thing in the book.
Okay.
You clearly don't like anything.
Oh no, I love it. I love it. I love all of it. I just let you be excited, and then
I'm so excited. It gives me. It makes me excited. It makes me want to play an Overlord.
All right. Well, let's kick in with the stats first. I'll bring you the facts. So
go on,
it's got the same stats as the old one.
Sweet.
He is a little bit more expensive. He used to have a rule where he gave hatred to his unit. He now doesn't have that, although he still has hatred himself. Instead of that, he's got this rule which is keys to the Citadel, which Lucky Sixes is going to go mental about in a minute.
Yeah, boy.
And he's also got Toruk Ritual as an option, which is the one that I said is quite easier to explain when you apply it to the characters.
Yeah.
So go for it, Lucky Sixes. Keys to the Citadel.
It's a free weapon. And you choose it at the start of battle.
Yeah.
What the fizzle?
Not only that, you get a free enchantment on it.
It's insane. It's insane. I think this is insane. I can't get my head across this. This is so good. Because it's adaptable. I mean, like you go to a tournament, you can use 5 different weapons with 5 different enchantments.
Yes, you can.
And you don't have to. You don't have to.
Write it down or anything.
This is insane. This is insane.
Yes. Yeah.
So if something's not working for you, you just completely change your style and go for something else. I think this is great. I think this is fantastic.
It is. The cost of it is that instead of being allowed 225 special items, he's only allowed 175.
Yeah.
So really, if you were planning on maxing out your special items, you want to be maxing out this rule as much as possible.
And if you do,
that's not really hard.
Yeah. And if you do want to buy a, well, actually, are you allowed to buy a weapon item? Because there's no options to actually buy the weapons.
No, well, I guess what you do is you just buy the weapon and then choose an enhancement for free. So, you wouldn't need to buy a weapon enhancement on its own. You just do it via this rule.
Yeah. But no, it's insane. He's still got, as you say, Toruk Ritual. You can go on a bull or a great bull. Both are equally good. I love this option. I think this is going to be. I think there'll be little lists without an Overlord to start off with for sure.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, I mean the Toruk Ritual option is pretty cool as well because it means now he can go in a unit of Toruks. Which is very nice.
Yeah. So again,
because previously that didn't exist. So
I'm gonna with this next one, I'm gonna fit to page because. The Prophet has so many options and so many rules.
Oh, tell me about it. This is incredible. This is like having 12 different wizards in your army book, pretty much.
So do your stat thing.
Do my stat thing. Okay, so same stats on the model, same stats on the profile anyway. The price is, I've written down here, incomparable, because there's just so many options that it throws at you that you really cannot put prices to this. And then you've got your 4 different options. Asherak, which is basically if you want to specialize as a wizard. You got Luger, which replaces an entire unit entry in the old book, which was the Chosen of Luger, which is now gone in favor of this option. You got Nezibkesh, which is your old engineer option, and you got Shamut, which is your new Toruk option for characters. So yeah, stats crunching wise, can't really do a lot because it's changed so much.
So he's got Infernal Armor now. I don't know whether he did before. You've got an option for a shield, so it's an easy 3-up for a mage, which is pretty decent.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
as things go. You've still got the option for adept. You can be an apprentice or a master, and obviously you've got 200 points if you're a master. So all that's the same. The big things are the 4 differences, and for this I will come a bit smaller. Oh, careful how I say that. So the Prophet of Asheruk, yes, it's a wizard thing, but just look at that. You can choose your attribute.
I know, yeah.
If you use an alchemy, you can use blaze
amazing.
or alchemical fire. You choose. If you use pyro, you can use. Oh my god, that's good. And occultism, you can. If you don't use a sacrifice, you can use the 2 as well. So that is awesome. It's flaming swords with alchemical fire, boys and girls.
Oh, you can just plan so much with this.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant. There's no other. This is 50 points is an absolute steal.
Oh, it is. It is definitely. It's the most expensive of the options.
Yeah,
but
just looking. So the next one is the least expensive. I think because it turns him into a bit of a fighty mage.
Yeah, I mean it replaces the Luger, the Chosen of Luger from the old book, which means it's quite different.
But I mean,
it's basically a madman running around without any armor, but
straight up 4 pages as well. So that's quite cool for essentially 25 points. That's quite cool.
You lose your armor though, so it's a trade-off.
True. But many people would much rather have an Aegis. So it's all choice, right?
Absolutely.
Zibkesh is the fiery guy. And fiery, I mean shooty, because they're all fiery. He does cost a fire as of industry though, so he's 1 point of the 6, so that's quite a big thing. It comes with the option to go on an Infernal Bastion, which comes later and is not just a mount, can be a unit entry as well, which I think is a new thing entirely.
What, the Infernal Bastion?
Yeah.
Yes, it is, as well as the previous one, the Prophet of Luger, having the Kadim Chariot.
So these two were the mounts, which are also unit entries. We think are very new.
Yes, they
things, are. Which is cool. Which is really cool.
Yeah,
it's what everyone wants to see. Is new ideas coming in. So brilliant. And then, as you said, we've got the Torok guy at the bottom. So
yes, so he gets Torok Ritual for free, which other character models have to pay for.
Yeah.
So you get that as part of paying your 40 points for choosing it.
Unless you get Bull of Shamut or Great Bull.
Yes, unless you put him on a bigger model. Yeah. But even so, I think it's really good.
Yeah.
That you don't have to pay for that.
I quite like the idea of a Great Bull of Shamut Wizard Master. I think that's...
yeah. You just like your flying things, don't you?
Yeah, I do. But I think that's got some legs to it.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree with you.
Yeah. Just because, I mean, his stats aren't terrible, right? So I know it's going to be, like, in terms of his own attacks, is 2, strength 4 hits. You could tool him up to be quite killy mage there as well. So you've almost got 2 options, but obviously without the Aegis, but the Great Bull has, as we'll see, a 5 Aegis anyway. So I quite like that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
One thing we
Sorry, go on. One thing we haven't mentioned is the wizard only has access to alchemy, occultism, and pyromancy, but it's easily enough to get you what you need. Yeah. So, really cool.
So we'll move on from him again. So Vizier, which is.
I was wondering how you were going to pronounce that. I would say Vizier.
Vizier. Tell us in the comments. Statman.
Yeah. Same stats. He is a little bit cheaper than he used to be. Similar to the Overlord, you've now got Torok Ritual as an option. And also you've got a new mount in the Seat of Authority, which I've written down is interesting for vassal lists, which won't mean anything to you at the moment. But we will come on to that later.
Yeah. I can't see him. I mean, it's 150 special items. I don't know whether he used to have that option as well, but I can't see this guy being anything other than a BSB, really.
No, he's your bog standard BSB. I think a lot of the other options in this book have got all bells and whistles on them.
Yeah.
This one is just your BSB
simple,
for the simple as BSB.
Cool.
So,
Turok Commissioner can be a BSB as well, which is interesting.
Yes.
So you can have a Turok theme list pretty easily, which is nice.
Yeah, stats wise though, he has changed a little bit. I think he's. I didn't write down the price change, but he has lost 2 March rate, so he's gone down from 14 March to 12. But he has gained a defensive skill and an offensive skill, but lost a pip of armor. As well as that, he's lost devastating charge +1 armor, and that's been replaced for the eye for an eye rule. And that rule, if joined to a Turok anointed unit, when a rank and file model from its unit is removed as a casualty due to melee attacks, the bearer must immediately perform a close combat attack if possible and must re-roll failed to hit rolls to the end of the phase. Now, to me, that suggests you want him to be attacking last, so that some of his unit has already died. But agility 4, it's a little bit counterintuitive.
Yeah, although 4's not always going at first, is it?
No, it isn't. No. Yeah, but I still quite like it as a rule, because I mean, you stick a great weapon on him and he's going to be last anyway.
Yeah.
And you get a free close combat attack when you lose one of your units. So, yeah, quite like it.
So is that an extra attack?
Yeah, as soon as one of your rank and file model in your unit dies, then you get an attack. And you also get to re-roll your hits.
Okay. And that's an extra attack per rank and file model, do we think?
No, I don't think so. Maybe it is, yeah.
Every guy that dies, you get an attack.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's pretty swish, actually, isn't it? Yeah.
It is.
Of course, the issue is that anything that's managed to kill 1, 2, or 3 Turok Anointed in one go, you're probably in trouble if you've lost more than one of them in a turn.
So you want your Turok Anointed to go first, then the enemy, and then you.
Yeah. Yes, pretty much. Yeah. But if you can manage to work that out, then fair play to you.
Yeah. No, wicked. That's cool.
Really good.
But yeah, he's a nice unit.
I think so. He's a nice beastie.
Next one, Vassal Conjurer, and you will probably be more well known to this as a Hobgoblin.
They're gone.
Person.
They're now called Vassals.
But they are gone. Yes. So it's not specific to Hobgoblins now, which opens up a few modelling opportunities, I think.
It does. Yeah, it does. Stats wise, it's now actually not a fighting character. It's a wizard character. So it used to be a chieftain kind of character with a backstabber rule. Now backstabbers is completely gone. I think it was a little bit too complicated. Sure. But hey, I don't know why they took it out. They've also replaced wolves as mounts with just vassal steeds. So they're just horses rather than wolves that they're mounted on. That's a hobgoblin related thing. Stats wise, he's weaker, but that's because he's a wizard. And naturally, because he's a wizard rather than a fighter, he's a little bit more expensive as well.
And this guy is, I mean, we were saying about the vizier. There's no bells and whistles. This guy is as simple and plain as they come.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, there's nothing fancy about him.
He's essentially your mobile pyromancy, or if you want, witchcraft guy.
Yeah, and don't expect him to be able to survive because he's not allowed in any decent unit either.
So no, it's a nice option, I think.
Yeah. If you like going around spraying out fire, then maybe that's an option.
Yeah. So looking at the mounts, Seat of Authority is first. So it gives you a pip of armor.
It's a vassal thing.
So it allows you to join. So this is for the vizier. I don't think anything else was able to take it.
No, I don't believe so.
So it allows you to join vassal units and some other stuff with that.
So you get to reroll your charge rolls, even though you might not be within the range of an infernal brand unit, you still get your re-rolling charges.
Yeah, which is cool. And then a load of strength 3 attacks to go along as well, which is so it's nice. Not amazing. I don't think it's not going to tear anybody up, but it's a nice little thing.
No. I was intrigued to find that it didn't give you stand behind, though. I thought that might have been an interesting thing to have it, because you're still in the front rank if you have this.
Yeah.
I thought it might have been nice to be able to hide in your unit with it, but still.
Next one, Vassal Steed, like a horse type thing. 2 attacks, which is nice.
Yeah, it's just a horse instead of a wolf, really.
And it gives you Vanguard, Faneflight, and Light Troops. So, all them things. But yeah, you ain't killing anyone with it.
No, you're not.
Kadim Chariot,
the new boy.
The new boy. So I mean, movement 6, so you ain't moving anywhere.
No, it's not a quick thing, but obviously chariots are meant to be charging. So,
but yeah, 4 HP, res 5, +2 armor, Aegis 2 up against flaming, which is nice. Decent amount of strength 5 attacks with battle focus, harnessed, and volcanic embrace. So again, because it's a chariot, only D3 +1 rather than D6, but you've got volcanic embrace as well all the time. So
so it's basically replaced its extra impact hits with some grind attacks.
Yeah, so
which
half grinding all the time, which is it's really cool. And then
probably more reliable.
Yeah, and contract driven. Should that not be contact? Oh, but anyway, failed charge range rolls must be re-rolled. So re-roll your charges, which is nice.
Which is very good for a chariot.
It sort of, I guess, makes up for the advanced 6.
I think so. Yeah.
But it's a solid. This is solid.
Yeah, I'd say so.
The penultimate mount choice.
Here we go.
So Bull of Shamut, so very good. Has the ground and flight. Well, you do the stats.
Well, I haven't got stats for the prices because so many different models can take it. Sure. So I didn't want to compare that. It is quicker on the ground than it used to be.
Okay.
So in consequence, it's slower flying than it used to be, which is interesting. They flipped it the other way around, so it's actually quicker on the floor than it is in flying, which is quite an interesting change.
Yep.
I guess it's because flying is so useful that they want to give you a reason to want to be on the ground.
Yep.
They both now have a 5-up Aegis. Now, it used to be only the Great Bull that had a 5-up Aegis.
So they've
both got one, which is really cool considering you can have it on a cavalry model, which is what the Bull is. So, very cool. They've both gained divine attacks, and that is amazing. Neither of them had divine attacks before. So, very nice. It's, going against anything with an Aegis save, now you're thinking, I can get right.
Yeah, even the mount at 4 strength 5 divine attacks that's pretty good.
Yeah. And they've both gained additional impact hits. So instead of being impact hit 1, they're now both impact hits D3.
Yeah, so these boys mean
pretty
business,
awesome.
Right?
Oh, yes, they do. And the breath weapon of the Great Bull has also got divine attacks on it as well.
Strength 4, AP 1, divine, and obviously flaming. And these guys pick out flaming attacks as well.
Yes.
So they have flaming attacks. So potentially, you're looking at flaming with flammable, so they re-roll into wound, divine attack. So you got blessed. They've both got blessed inscriptions, essentially.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff that you can do with these mounts. So the only thing to mention is that you've also got an extra restriction, which they kind of sneak in, which is you're only allowed 2 flying models in an army.
Sure.
So. But I think these ones are very worth considering. So
absolutely,
fair play.
That's pretty much them in a nutshell. They are definitely worth taking.
Yes, they are.
The Infernal Bastion. So this is a new boy, and this is a war platform.
Yeah, this is all yours, by the way. Go for it.
Sweet. So this goes in a shooting thing. The firing platform rule is, I think, sounds insane. I think this is. I mean, the wall breaker one. You get a crush attack. I can only use crush attack. The front shows fine, whatever. Don't worry about that. The big one is the firing platform. So the unit is considered soft cover, which is nice anyway. It may choose to draw lines from sight as if they were gigantic. So all your infantry models are now gigantic size, so can see over everything. They're basically on a hill.
Yeah.
They can shoot 360 degrees line of sight for casting spells and shooting. And if I'm reading that right, that is insane.
Yeah.
That's insane. That
You
is
don't have to worry about getting flanked because you
that is
can
some
shoot it anyway.
board control right there. Oh
Mm.
my god. If so, as long as and here's the restrictions: only 20 models can shoot.
What a shame.
Oh my god. And you measure from the bastion itself, which is 60 by 100 mil, so the chariot size basically.
Yeah.
This is insane. I think you're gonna get some 0 to 1, so you're only gonna have one. Thank God. Can you imagine two like on each side, one on each side? Oh, so yeah,
Did
this
you
is
go over that you can shoot no matter what rank you're in? Because that is big. Not just only 20 models can shoot, but it doesn't matter how wide you
yeah.
are.
I didn't
You can
even
go
say that,
5
but yeah.
wide and literally every rank can shoot.
These
Because
models
this
can
thing's a
shoot
war platform,
regardless of
so
the rank they are positioned in. So if you're too
yeah.
wide and go behind, go down.
Well, I think you'd struggle to go too wide because your
But
war
it's
platform
basically
is
saying
60.
only
It's too
20
wide.
models can 20 models can shoot. So just put them in any
Yeah.
formation. Doesn't matter. Measure from the bastion. 20 models.
Take 20
360 line of
models.
degrees.
Done.
Oh my god! And it's got 8
Hmm.
HP. Res 5
Yeah.
impact is it's a little mini chariot as well.
Yeah. Mm. It's very cool.
Hashtag OP.
Well, obviously, it depends on the price at which you're paying
Yes.
attached to your character,
Yes,
because this
but
is a mount option.
that was the
We
mount.
should
Yeah.
mention that it will turn up again as a
Yeah,
non-mount
yeah,
option.
that's
So,
not just a mount. See, there is options. So, oh, so
yes.
good. Right, so core down to the
Before we
core.
move on, I
Oh,
do need to say that they've removed the Temple Lamassu as a mount.
right.
That used to be a mount option in the old book. It's now gone, but Lamassu as a unit entry is just changed into a non-mount option. So we
Might
will be
come
seeing
up
a
later.
Lamassu later on.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right, onto the core. So,
Yep.
Infernal Warriors.
Mm.
And Citadel Guard. So let's go into Infernal Warriors first. Statman, what you got for me?
Yeah, can I briefly just mention as well that I haven't got stats comparison from the special units onwards. So don't throw me a bone and start me comparing stats. So yeah, we'll see how we go. So Infernal Warriors stats wise, same stats as they were before. They're cheaper basic unit, so they're cheaper to take as the standard. Although you do get 12 instead of 10 now, which is
Yeah.
pretty cool. So that might actually work out to be not quite as bad as I'm making it sound, or not quite as good as I'm making it sound. You do
You
pay a little bit
decide.
more. Yeah. Basically, I've done the stats and I can't work
I
out
can't
what's
tell you.
best. I can't. Don't hold me to anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are more expensive to get additional ones though. And interestingly, this one took me a little while to work out, and I had to look 2 or 3 times. They've gained an extra armor because they used to only get heavy armor. Now they've got infernal armor,
And an Aegis,
which
right?
is
Aegis to
uh,
Flaming.
Aegis to flaming. Yeah, so built in the infernal. So that in itself is a pretty big buff. Just as a basic core unit, getting a 4-up armor,
Yeah, and you can put a
basic
shield
instead
on
of a
them.
5-up.
This is your blunderbuss options. So
Yep.
I see a lot of min-sized blunderbusses going around. I think.
Yes, I think so.
But yeah, no. March and shoot. So very similar to what they had before. I think.
Yeah, most infantry options with Infernal Brand have march and shoot. It should be
Yeah.
mentioned.
Yeah, and I guess this is
So
the first option. So this has Infernal Brand. So
yes.
we'll go on to that. Citadel Guard.
So same stats as they used to have. They're cheaper basic, but more expensive for additional models. They come with shields as standard.
As standard.
So that's pretty nifty because likelihood is you're probably going to take them anyway. They were only 1 point per model previously, so I guess what the researchers found was that most people took shields as it was, so they just gave them to them, which makes sense. Interestingly, they've been given the option of taking both pistols and spears, which is neither option was available previously.
Yeah.
So 2 new weapons on these guys.
And the spear option with the let them come special rule.
Yes.
Fight an
Yes,
extra
it is.
rank unless it's charging, and also shoot in third rank.
Mm.
Right, as I'm reading this, I just thought if the model has not performed a march move, it may shoot from the third rank. That can be done
Yeah.
in a stand and shoot.
If the model's not performed, yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
So that's insane. So don't charge, don't march, fight in extra rank, and shoot in extra rank when. Oh,
When under
that's
the cosh,
insane.
yeah.
And
Mm.
don't worry about it. They've got a spear now. So
Yeah,
they are
exactly. Yeah.
strength 4 AP3 spear wielding dudes.
Yes, they are.
That's not bad. I mean, I know pistol is
Not as good as a flintlock.
is
Yeah.
yeah, it's not as good as your flintlock anyway. But
Mm.
oh
I
boy,
always found that it's interesting that flintlocks are 3-up instead of 4-up as well,
yeah,
which is nice.
because they're quick to fire, are they?
Mm. Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can match and shoot.
Yeah.
That there's some sneaky combinations there.
Oh yes, there are.
But yeah, this. I mean, I know I said you're going to see a lot of Infernal Dwarves min-size. I think Citadel Guard are the first ones you put in.
Sorry, I got that slightly wrong. Flintlock axes are not quick to fire.
Oh, okay, well that's good. Thank God.
It's the blunderbusses that are. So.
But yes, so moving on. But yeah, they're Citadel Guard. I mean, they're the core, right? They are the core of Infernals. They should be there.
Yes, they are. Yeah.
And they will be. So,
Mm.
next up, the two vassal options.
Just one actually. The vassal chieftain is a champion.
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
So same stats as the hobgoblins that they've replaced. They are cheaper for basic and more expensive to get additionals. They do come with. Oh, sorry, no, that's wrong. They are more expensive basic. I just read the same comparing for the previous unit. So yeah, they replace hobgoblins. Backstabbers is completely gone. They're more expensive as a basic option. The interesting one that I found is you can take a maximum of 40 instead of a maximum of 50. So if you're using them as a meat shield, you're already 10 HP down.
Yeah, man.
But the additional thing they've got is they've got oil skins, which, if you remember, is lucky sixes.
It's obviously it gives them flammable.
It gives who you're attacking flammable. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
So yeah, if you equip them with a ranged weapon, you can shoot and give something flammable. Yeah. If you're getting them in combat, then you can attack them in combat.
But yeah, I mean, the vassals, so they've got the old top. They ain't going to do much, but they add a bit of synergy with the all skins, don't they?
I think they're all about setting the tone for the rest of your battle. Send them in, get them to cause incendiary on things, and then let them die.
Yeah.
And they've also got this vassal chieftain option, which is pretty cool. It's like a slightly better champion.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of getting just +1 extra attack, he gets +2 extra attacks and a whole load of extra stats in 2 HP and extra defensive skill, offensive skill, strength, resilience, and all that. And the first amongst inferiors rule, which means that if you are outside of your 12-inch bubble of your BSB or general, then this guy allows you to still get the effects of them if you're still within 6 of that.
Yeah, man.
So instead of increasing the range of your BSB in general to 18 inches, it just means just for these units, they count as being nearer. And chances are these units are the ones who are going to need it the most. So I quite like it.
No, I like it a lot. So, but yeah, I think in everything they're a bit fluffy rather than actual good.
Yeah, that was our first impression, wasn't it? That, there's so much cool stuff that vassals might be left behind. Yeah, but we'll see.
Unlike the next core option, Shackled Slaves, who
you literally love these guys, don't you?
Oh man, what? I mean, they're crap, right? As a unit.
Oh yeah.
Take them as face value, stats wise, as a unit, crap. And obviously these are the old orc slaves. If you wanted, they're taking away orcs, so loads of modelling and hobby opportunities here, which is nice. But right, and I'm gonna skip everything. I'll come straight to force compliance. This gives this unit so much utility. It gives it a reason to include, even though they are crap. They're not going to win you the battle. They're not going to do anything.
Well, chances are they're going to sit behind your battle line, pretty much.
This is what I think is going to happen. So, force compliance. It's set its discipline to any non-fleeing Infernal brand, and most of them are like 8 or 9, probably 9. So That's cool. Keep it close to that, you idiots. If not,
yeah, it's your own fault if you're not within 6 inches of Infernal
then you
Brand.
take a discipline test on that thing. So again, on leadership 9 or whatever of the thing, if you fail it, you become shaken. If you
can't do
pass
anything.
it, the unit must immediately or may immediately receive an order from a single friendly unit. So a bit Empire-y. Ammo bearers. Shooting attacks made with blunderbuss, flintlock axe, or pistol. I'm a bit annoyed about that. From the unit which gave the order gain battle focus. So your shooting attacks gain battle focus. The negative of that is it remove a model from the unit with force compliance, so the slaves, for every natural to hit roll of 1. But you don't care because they're shit.
Yeah.
That is brilliant. So and obviously if you've rolled a 6 and get for the battle focus, it's an auto hit. So you're not having to hit with that. You're just doubling your hits.
Yeah,
it's brilliant.
Well, in the case of blunderbusses, you're tripling your hit because you're already hitting 2 with every hit anyway.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
Anyway, sacrificial wretches. Any health point lost for dangerous terrain is ignored, and you remove a slave as well. So they're basically flinging themselves underneath to stop people dying. That's a meh rule. It's all about ammo bearers, mate.
Absolutely, it is. Yeah,
brilliant. I don't even see why you get musician or paired weapons of shield. You don't care.
No. If you're using them for the upgrades, then you're doing it wrong.
The only thing I'm not sure about is how many you actually need.
How many do you need over the course of a battle? Yeah,
because
you can only use the order if you've got a full rank.
Yeah, so you need
once
at least
they're down
5.
to 4 models, then then they're no use to you.
But yeah, it's just put me on. I don't know. That's my one. I don't know how long much you need.
No, that's just trial and error.
Even if it's just 20 and you roll 21s first up, it's well good. It's well good. But yeah, so that is core. On to our special. And
this is the only unit that I have comparison stats for. As the Immortals. Then we're going blind from there.
Even then, Immortals.
They're the same stats as they were before, stats-wise. They are more expensive as basic models. You pay a little bit more. 60 points more, in fact.
60 points more, and a few more per thing.
No, one less point for additional models.
Is it less? Okay.
It is 1 less for additional.
Right. You're going to see loads of bricks of these.
Yeah, absolutely.
These are easy mode.
Tell us why. It's Whispers of the Mask. Come on.
Well, no, right. Before that, they have parry inbuilt anyway. So let's get a great weapon. Don't worry. Which they get for free, by the way. So they come standard with the great weapons. So they're strength 6. And they got parry. So you're hitting them on 4-ups unless you're an elf, but whatever. Then Whispers of the Mask. They can never be wounded on a better than a 4-up. Right?
Ever.
It doesn't say in combat.
No, ever.
Oh, you got strength 10
cannonball
cannon.
To the face.
Don't worry, on a 4, half the chance, I catch it and eat it.
Yeah, but if you're shooting Immortals with a cannon, then you probably won the battle anyway.
Yeah, true.
Or you're very bad at the game.
Still, 3-up armor. Bodyguard.
Yes.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I think they're great. I think they're a fantastic unit. But I'm not sure that's fun to play against.
Yeah, it all depends on how many points the opponent's sunk in.
I think
you can avoid them.
The biggest, because they're only. I know they're strength 6, only 1 attack. Offensive, defensive 5 is good. So almost, defensive 5 almost negates the parry, but it just means against characters, right?
Yeah.
The thing they're going to do is they're going to hold objectives and they're going to keep their points.
Yes.
And I can't see much getting into him and or wanting to get into him, especially with a bodyguard.
And if it does, it's not going to last that long.
Snipe the shizzle out of those characters. And why wouldn't you bring 4 characters? Because it's not bodyguard vizier or bodyguard overlord. It's bodyguard.
Exactly. Yeah, it could be
So
any character,
any character who's
providing
in
it's
there,
got
then
Infernal Brand. Yeah.
yeah, I don't know, man. I think it's gonna be that's gonna be hard. It's hard to deal with,
Really good.
personally.
Mm,
Um,
yeah.
but yeah, so solid. Immortals are immortal.
Yeah.
um,
Pretty much.
Next one, Disciples of Luca, much more fun.
Yeah.
Much more fun.
Interestingly, it's interesting that I didn't get to do a comparison on this in preparation, because now that I've looked at them both, it's really different.
Yes.
So they've basically rewritten this unit.
Yeah.
Stats wise, very similar, except they gain an extra attack now. They had lost Unbreakable, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Because Unbreakable is quite a big part of their flavour, you could argue.
And like they've not only lost that, they've got feigned flight.
Exactly, yeah. So they run away and they just come back.
Yeah.
So it's a really odd change for them. It really is. They've still got their Aegis 2 up against Flaming, and a standard Aegis 5 up against everything. But what they haven't got is any kind of armor. Now that's the same as they were, so you can't argue that that's nerfed.
Sure.
But they've also lost battle focus as a standard rule, so that's something that's changed as well.
Okay.
They've got this Pact of Fire rule now,
Yeah.
which is it's this really interesting one again. It means that you basically just tell them to go crazy, and you gain Fearless Volcanic Embrace, but you suffer -1 AP and -1 offensive skill until the end of the game. So don't pull that too early, because you're becoming a Strength 4 AP1 attacker.
And you're losing your feigned flight.
Yeah, and it just looks. It's a really interesting.
Now
one.
there is a lot of noise about this unit.
Is there?
In the circuit.
Okay.
In the hood.
The kind of levels that you're in and I'm not. Yeah.
Well, yeah, the
elite
the top,
of the elite.
Yeah. Oh yes, of course, yes. But there is a lot of noise about these, and being actually pretty good at dealing out damage and doing it. I personally can't see it, so I'm not I'm not agreeing with those noises.
No.
But yeah,
Paired weapons for free is pretty cool.
Yes,
that's
so they got
nice.
3 attacks, offensive 5 until they do the Pact of Fire. Strength 4, AP2 is nice. Yeah, I guess they're deceptively good.
Yeah, the litigator option is an interesting one because it gets hard target, which gives them a little bit of range support.
Yeah,
and skirmisher
and
as well.
Maneuverability.
But I think until you start seeing these on the board, it's going to be very hard to see how they actually perform.
Yeah. But yeah, so this is a revamp for sure.
Totally is, yeah. And also they've gone into special as opposed to being in their own category. So they're kind of a lot less restricted nowadays.
Okay. That's good. That's always good.
Change.
Possibly opens up the ability for 3 or 4
spamming.
Because there's no model unit limit.
No, you can have as many as you want.
So maybe that's part of a spamming MSU.
Yes, potentially.
So I'm not saying. Especially with Fame Flight.
Yeah.
Cool. Moving on to Kadim stuff. Kadim Incarnates. So
really interesting.
Yeah, these are a slight revamp as well.
Yeah,
and I say
slight.
Yeah.
Which has to be the biggest thing you notice when you look at them.
Yeah.
They're still fearful. They're still, supernal, which are got their Aegis 2 up against Flaming and Aegis 5 up generally. They've still got Volcanic Embrace. They also have lost Battle Focus, which is interesting. So Battle Focus does seem to have become less of an Infernal Dwarf thing.
This is possibly one of the first meaningful units we've got to that does not have Infernal Brand.
Yes, correct. Yes.
So all the other ones, I mean, apart from like the slaves and the vassals, right? This is the first one that doesn't have Infernal Brand, which means anything with Infernal Brand can give it rerolls to charge and
battle
focus. So in a way, as long as it's not the last unit on the board, you will still have that if you've maneuvered yourself right. So again, it's one that's going to need a lot of babysitting. But if you babysit it correctly, you can do some damage.
Yeah, and then there's Magma Tunneling, which is obviously a new rule, which kind of replaces its flyability.
Yes. So it basically means, I mean, you ignore units and terrain when moving through when charging, which is cool.
Yeah.
Which is what you do when you fly. They've also their movement as standard is 612 now. So it used to be that they were lower.
Yes,
and
they used to be
fly,
4-8 on the ground.
Yeah, and could fly 612. So that is nice. But yeah, I think that's a deceptively not so great rule because I can see a few ways around that because you can at first you look at it and go, brilliant, it can't be chaffed, but then you look at it and go, well, actually, if I put my chaff in front of you and don't allow and put everything else 18 inches or 18.1 away, then that means I am chaffing you from because they can't move through it.
No,
they are stuck there until they've done it. So.
Yeah, and one further thing to mention as well before you go all tactical on me is they've lost a point of discipline as well, which could be quite crucial for supernal purposes.
Supernal, yeah. So I'm unsure about them. I'm not sure. I think it's a cool thing, and I think with help, especially with magic and all the extra stuff that's available, oil skins, whatever, I think they can be really good. Because I'm not sure we've said it. Volcanic Embrace gives you flaming attacks, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Via the Kadim manifestation.
Yeah. So anything with Volcanic Embrace also has flaming attacks standard anyway. So again, there's synergy that can be done with this unit. What synergy, I don't know, but there is potential. I think it's a unit that needs to be babysat and supported, but I think if you can get that in place, I think it can be quite a nasty unit. Moving on to Kadim Chariot.
Yeah, who we've kind of already talked about in a way.
So actually it's exactly the same, but it's a
single model unit.
So we won't go to this. It's nice. A few weapon options as well, which is cool. But
the only thing is that when you're taking it as a mount for a wizard, you're only paying 70 points for it, whereas as a single model, you're paying 235. So that one's a hard one to compare, but I'm sure once you start playing it, you'll see whether it's worth it as a mount.
5 chariot, it's decent, and it's got an Aegis 5 up. I mean, that's not. I know it's not amazing armor, but I think that's good. I think it's good. I think it's got some legs to it, and if you can use chariots then get this in. Right, onto the Toruk.
Yeah, so I mean, I like Toruks as options, definitely. I think
baby Toruk and big Toruk.
Yeah, the main thing to say about the baby Toruk is that you've now got characters who can join them because of the I can't remember what it was called, the thing that you take in order to become Toruk shaped. I can't remember what it was called at the start.
Toruk inscriptions.
So that's pretty cool. Yeah, they call them enforcers now instead of just plain old Toruks.
Yeah,
they are a little bit more expensive now, but you actually, and you pay slightly more. So that suggests that they should be better.
Well, right? They used to have devastating charge plus 1 armor, and they've now been given the extra pip of armor all the time anyway.
Just for free.
Just for free. So they've got that, and then on top of that, they've got Impact Hits 1. So they used to be like that weird, I'm offensive unit, but if I'm offensive, I'll get defensive buffs. Now there's just straight up, if I charge at you, I've got Impact Hits 1. So I'm offensive. The bit that baffles me,
I was wondering when you were going to get onto it.
Is why they have the blunderbuss option.
Indeed.
I don't get it.
No, it seems a little bit out of place, doesn't it?
I don't know whether there's going to be some fluff that comes with it, because obviously, as you guys obviously, it goes without saying, this is just the slim book. So I don't know. I can't see the connection.
Yeah, I suppose at the moment we don't really have an idea of what they envisage when they say Toruk.
Yeah,
we've got our ideas of what they used to be, but in this version of the new book, it could
that's my only real with it. But and otherwise pretty similar. There's not much change. Their Infernal brand as well, as we're noting that. Toruk Anointed.
Yeah, the one thing left to say about the normal Toruk is you can only have a maximum of 12 now instead of 15,
Yes. Yeah.
like you used to be able to. I
Yeah.
think, in fact, we had a unit of 15 in our good old wooden spoon tournament.
Right.
So we've been nerfed.
Nerfed.
Yeah, yeah. So the Toruk Anointed, similar to the character Toruk, have lost 2 inches on their march rate. So they're a little bit slower,
Mhm.
as a basic thing, but very similar to the fact that instead of having the devastating charge +1 armor, they don't have that anymore. The only difference is they don't get the extra pip armor like
Yes.
Toruk do. But that's, I guess, because they're already res 5, so
Mm.
they probably consider themselves to not need it.
I
Um,
believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. Have they been given an extra offensive and defensive, or were they
uh,
always five?
they they have been given an extra offensive
So
and
that's gonna
defensive.
be
Yeah,
that's nice.
yeah. So that's probably what they're gaining instead of the armor.
Yeah.
But you can still take shields to make yourself a 3-up armor, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. Sure.
Um, and you're paying the same amount for a shield as you were last time.
Mm.
So yeah, and you've
And
still got the same
then
weapon options as
yeah,
well.
and then the big change, I guess, is Shamat's Thunder.
It is, yeah. It's the inbuilt rule, which means that if you get a full rank, then directly behind it, those models also get impact hits, which is
Mm.
pretty cool. So you're not just doing impact hits in the front rank.
And
It gives you a bonus of taking more than one rank, really.
and it synergizes well with the Toruk Commissioner character thing.
Yes, it
So,
does. Yeah.
again, I really like it because it encourages themed lists as
Mm,
well. So
yeah.
you could have a themed list running all the way through, which is really really nice.
Yeah.
So again for the synergy. Oh, the next
Oh,
one,
oh,
Lamassu
oh.
Scholar.
Yeah. So there's nothing to compare here, really, because
No.
the original one was just a mount. So I'm
Yep.
going to forget about that because that was totally different.
Mhm.
This is a whole load of fun. I mean, I literally text you the minute I read it and said, "This is incredible. I love it."
Yeah, and
But
I was
whether
looking
it's
at
any
it
good
going,
or not is
yeah.
another matter entirely.
And I go, I get the text right, and I look at it and go, okay, well, yeah, it's fly, all right, I get it. Infernal brand, Fortitude 5-up, I guess, a bit different there. Infernal armor, I'm not sure how that works. Then, yeah, how does that work?
Yeah. So
D
stats wise, it's all very cool. There's not a lot
yeah,
interesting
there's
stuff
nothing.
going on.
It's not great
It's
in
all
combat. It's
right.
not terrible.
No.
And then
And
riddle
then
me Lasso.
yeah, so you're a wizard adept, and you get to choose from 4 decent spells or 3 decent spells in wheel turns, which is situational, but not terrible. But
No,
it's situational.
no, it's not.
Um, and then you do not perform casting attempts as normal, and that is the crux of our issue. And
Yeah,
it's not an issue; it's just so fun. So instead of choosing a spell to cast, you choose it secretly without your opponent knowing what spell you're casting, and then you go ahead and do it, and you just tell them whether you've cast it or not.
yeah,
Now, obviously, you can't lie because at some point you're going to reveal your card, and they will know at that point whether you've lied to them or not about whether you're successful or not.
yeah.
But they don't get to know what spell you're casting until after you've rolled the dice. And they also don't get to know at the point at which they choose whether or not they want to dispel it.
Yep, that's
So
cool.
they're dispelling a spell without knowing what spell it is.
That's cool, man. And I
Really
love that
cool.
there's a new mechanic.
Yeah,
There's a
yeah.
few actually, isn't there? But yeah, no, this
Mm,
a new mechanic in the game. I love it. I really like it.
yeah, mm,
Um,
definitely.
again, I mean, it's janky as fuck,
Oh, it is
but
totally. It is. Yeah,
but yeah.
yeah.
But no, it'll be good. It'll be good. Really, this
Yeah,
is the one I'm probably most interested to see how it plays out.
yeah, definitely is. I can't wait to play around with it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Vassal Cav. Won't say
Mm.
too much about it other than it's Yiff Chaff.
It's to replace your Hobgoblin Wolf Riders.
Um,
So stats wise,
yeah.
very similar, except it has actually interestingly got an extra defensive and offensive skill on the
Okay.
rider.
Yeah. Cool.
So there's that, and you
Um,
also get the oil
Oil
skips rule.
skins are the
So
big one. Vanguard 6, so not quite as but they're your chaff.
mm, yes, they are not quite as fast though. They used to be 9,
Yeah.
18. So
Yeah, true. So chaff, and I guess we should say, like part of the vassal crowd as well. So
yes, and the incendiary crowd,
yeah.
oilskins as well, and
Another
they've got an extra discipline on what they used to have. So
yes. Oh, that's good. Another part of the vassal crowd is the vassal slingshot. So always good to
yes,
have a bolt thrower, and it's pretty cheap bolt thrower at that.
yes,
So yeah, sorry. And then has the oil flask thrower, which is similar to the oil skins as well.
yes. It's good, like you say, always good to have a bolt thrower available. And the fact that you could got two different shooting options means that you're very versatile.
Yeah.
And for 110 points, it's useful to just round out those lists.
Yeah, man.
Only
Uh,
costs one in the fires of
yeah.
industry restriction as well. So
Yeah. So no,
you
good.
can only have 6 of them in total. So
So yeah, and as we're on Forest of Industry, what better way to do it than going on to the gunnery team?
yeah,
So, this is probably where we should look up Napthra Thrower, Titan Mortar,
I have
and
got
Rocket
those
Battery.
stats in front of me, so
Cool.
I can
So
tell you what all the weapons do.
if I quickly, what we'll do is we'll quickly look at those three, and then we'll come back to this.
Yeah.
So if I'll scroll, which can, if you've been looking at this for ages, will really screw up your eyes. So Napthra Thrower. So it's the flamethrower. Yeah. Um, range 18. On a 2 up because it's flamethrower. Strength 4 or 5 at short range. AP 1 or 2 at short range. Flaming attacks and multiple wounds D3 at short range. Nice flamethrower, pretty decent.
Yeah.
The rocket battery. Again, we won't go too much into detail with these. Actually, I've gone into probably more than I should on the nap thrower. The rocket battery is a volley gun that isn't a volley gun. Lost a bit of strength.
Yes, it had gone down one strength and gained an AP though.
Gained an AP, which is nice. And Titan Mortar is the same, but has lost a bit of range.
Yeah, they've all lost a bit of range
They've
in
all
this
lost.
iteration, actually.
Okay.
But there is a way around that, as we'll see when we go
Yeah.
back to the other pages.
So that's them in a nutshell, and that's what we'll be talking about. I'm going to scroll.
scroll, scroll.
So that's what we're talking about when we get onto these. So yeah, as we mentioned before, all of them have the option for either flaming, which is Kadim manifestation, cluster mutations, which is the shrapnel, and ether cloud, which is the veil token, and
panic tests.
-1 discipline. So they all have that option for different points,
and they're
depending
cheap
on what they are.
options as well.
Yeah, which is
so you
cool.
can build them how you want.
But yeah, so the first thing we should note is the gunnery team is movable, which is very cool.
Yes.
The gunnery teams are all Fires of Industry 1.
Yes.
You can only have 3, but they cover each of that. They're hard target, which is nice as well.
Yeah. Yeah, and they've got a 4 armor save, so they're not easy to pick off.
Yeah. But they are cumbersome. So everything we saw just then, minus 1 strength and AP. It can only hold as a voluntary charge, and it can only perform a single pivot or wheel during a march move. So there's a bit of
maneuverable, but not completely like troops. Yeah,
I'm not sure. I understand why they did it, and I understand what the thing. I'm not sure that's easily policed.
No, and I think in some ways it's more of a headache than you want it to be as a player.
Yeah.
Especially as you can't flee voluntarily.
Yeah, I'm not. Again, I completely understand why it's done it, and I like it as a rule. I just, I like it as a negative. I'm not sure as it will be a rule.
Yeah, and with the -1 strength on everything as well, and AP, it just means you're paying for a lot of work without a lot of reward.
Yeah. The good thing is it can flee and rally.
If it flees from panic, yes.
Why
or
wouldn't
terror, rather.
Why wouldn't it flee? It can break.
Oh, I guess so. Yes.
And it can come back and shoot later on.
It's a construct, though, so can it?
So is a chariot.
Yeah. That's getting into whole unit types.
Yeah,
Not
no,
my strength.
yeah, I'm pretty sure this is just like so. This could be chaff as well as being a shooting and late game shooting if it rallies, which it
Yeah.
probably could on a discipline 9. So there's a few things in this that I'm not. I think yeah,
Practice makes perfect,
yeah, it's going to
I
be
think.
tinkering. But yeah, I'm not sure with the single pivotal wheel. Yeah, I mean, it's probably just me being cynical, right? But
Yeah, yeah. I think with anything, you've got to be rely on your opponent not
but yeah, so
taking the
these
hit.
are the baby munitions, should we
Mm.
say?
That can
Um,
move. Yeah.
then onto the big daddy munitions. Exactly the same, only they don't have the what was it called? Cumbersome rule.
Yes, they don't,
And
and they
they
can't
are
move.
yeah, and they can't move. So these are your
Yeah.
actual war machines. They take 2 fires of infantry each,
Yes.
um, but otherwise are exactly what we just mentioned.
Yes, but they get extra range because they can't move. So
Do
and
these
obviously
guys
they're
get accurate as opposed to the old ones as well? So these guys are
the
accurate
old
as well.
ones. Yeah, the old ones didn't have accurate. Yeah, so that's
So
interesting.
gained accurate, so you can hit better
Mm.
than and can hit
Yeah,
better than the
because even with the
smaller
increased
chaps.
range that base plate gives them, there's still less range than they used to be.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing that's the trade-off. You've now given them accurate.
Okay. All right. Cool. So
Interesting
that's
that they've got move
nice.
or fire when they've got 0/0 advance march.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what that's about because technically
Maybe
you
that's just
can't
putting it
move.
in line with things. But yeah. Otherwise, that's your infantry, and we've already discussed them, so we won't spend too much time on them. But yeah,
Sure.
nice, nice.
Mm, yeah.
So, then the last category, instruments of destruction.
Yeah. The only other category, in
Yeah.
fact.
So I'm gonna zoom out a bit for this to get
You need
all
to.
the stuff. Infernal Engine. So really a big centerpiece, I think, right?
Yeah. Yeah. This is your big demon thing,
Um,
really.
so loads of options with this.
I don't even know where to start with this.
No, this is one. It has changed quite drastically.
Yes.
A few minor stats. There is a way to buff up its stats to make it a steel juggernaut.
Hmm.
Steel juggernaut, but it also changes its base size, which I'm not sure
Yes.
is wonderful. Again, I don't understand why,
Uh,
but
yeah, it's just
it's
making
never
it a
good.
bit beefier,
Yeah, my personal opinion, it's never good to change a
be
base
bigger.
size. That never goes down well. Um,
No.
so basically, it has the 3 artillery options as well as being an infernal engine, which is cool.
Yeah.
I like that. It's got the steel juggernaut option as well onto the all the cluster musicians, Ether Cloud and Kadim Manat, so the Flaming and Veil Token, all that stuff as well,
Hmm.
to make it bigger essentially. Um, or it can be a rock crusher. So forget shooting. I'm going to smash you up in the grind.
Yeah. Grind
Um,
attacks. Yeah.
so yeah, very adaptable.
Yeah. But with Rock Crusher, you also get parry, which is interesting for a model that's only got defensive one.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
hey.
you you originally go, well, it's been nerfed defensively, I think, but then as soon as you put Rock Crusher, which is the free option, you're like, just parry annoys the hell out of me as a rule.
Yeah.
I know what it's in, I know it's in, but that's one
It's
of the.
because you're an elf player
It's because
though,
I'm an elf. I'm a dirty, stinking elf,
and
and
you're still hitting on threes. You're the only ones that can get round parry.
I know, and I still don't like it as a rule. I just think because everything that has parry has bad defensive skill.
Hmm.
Ugh.
That's why you get parry.
Ugh. Anyway,
Yeah.
um,
Or you get parry on immortals,
but
but hey,
but that's not
who's
the
asking?
Infernal Dwarves' fault, so I won't get into that now. But
No,
yeah,
you better
so
not. Yeah.
yeah, hard to really tell what it is. I think it has taken a knock, personally.
Yes. Yeah.
But there are options that might be unseen that might make it better. So we
Yep.
shall see.
Hmm.
Infernal Bastion, we've already gone over. This is just the uh,
The
unit
unit.
option.
Mm.
And this one is,
Interesting. You can only take one as a mount, but you can take two if you take them as non-mounts.
yes. So interesting. I didn't read that earlier.
Oh, really? Yeah, yeah. You can basically have like a castle on the battlefield.
You can
Two
have two
castles, two towers.
castles.
Yeah, just they are castles. They're basically towers on the battlefield. Yeah,
I'm not sure I like
they're
that.
awesome.
I mean, I really
Well,
like this unit. I think it's a nice
but
but I'm not sure
having
you can.
two
I
of
like
them,
having two. Yeah. Ooh. Anyway,
just don't go near them.
yeah, but we've discussed that. Kadeem Titan, so another one of the
Oh,
unit centerpieces.
oh yeah. So I can get my comparison stick out with this one, can't I?
Oh, he's done it.
Oh, no, I haven't. I haven't done it. That's the whole point. But
Oh
I'm
right,
going to.
okay. Yeah, I quite
He's
like.
changed quite a lot.
Yeah, go on then, stat me up, bro.
All right, cool. So he is now a little bit slower. So he's gone from 816 to 714, which is interesting. Discipline's still the same. He's got more HP, same defensive, same resilience, same armor. He's got one less attack, two less offensive skill, one less strength,
Whoa,
two less AP, gosh,
blimey.
and one less agility. So the stats, they've just completely put them in a random number generator and said, this is your new stats,
Yes.
pretty
So,
much.
being
Yeah,
Kadeem, it has 2 up Aegis to Flame in, 5 up Aegis,
yeah,
and not
it
much
does.
armor.
No,
The high HP and res will negate that a little bit though.
yes.
What's this? Searing Heat.
Well, it is basically means that your grind attacks from Volcanic Embrace, of which you have 2d3, get +1 to wound. So grind attacks already hit automatically. Awesome. And now these ones are getting +1 to wound. And bearing in mind they're strength 6, chances are you're going to be wounded on 2s.
Yeah. So
Very
Monster Killer.
nice.
What's this? In addition, enemy units suffer -1 armor.
While in base contact, yeah, just straight up takes their armor
So
away.
isn't that just
Use them in
that's just
conjunction with
AP,
another
right?
unit. Yeah, yeah,
It's just another way of
yeah.
saying it's
Yeah, but
AP3.
it gives it to another model. If you attack it, you get immortals in the front and this guy in the side, or anything in the
Okay.
front,
Yeah.
then they've got less armor. So
So it's essentially giving anything it's in combat with on your side an
yes,
extra AP.
yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Mm.
That's nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, so Big Beastie coming at you.
yeah, he is quite a lot cheaper as well than he used to be, and a whole 80 points cheaper. But you can. Oh no, you could only get one before. I thought you could get two previously,
Yeah.
but they've obviously changed that at some point. So yeah, you can only
Okay.
get one.
So no, yeah, interesting. And then on to the last one.
Mm.
Um, if you've got this
Citizen.
far, guys, give yourself a pat on the back. But not too soon because we have got this last one to get through. Right.
Yeah.
We talked about this a little while yesterday, and
Mm-hmm.
we were talking about it. And it was just like, yeah, it's a giant. It's cool. Well, good options and stuff like this. I have
Yeah.
since kind of seen a bit of a oversight
Oh.
in this giant in
Oh.
the tower shield upgrade.
Oh.
So, but before we get onto that, we'll talk about him, and then I'll have a little
Okay.
rant.
He's totally the same.
Yeah.
Stats wise, exactly the same. Points wise, only 10 points difference. He's got Infernal Brand, which is the same as every
Yep.
other
And Infernal
normal
Armor
unit.
and Armor 1.
Yeah. All,
Mm-hmm.
so he's 3 up armor, which is pretty
Which
cool.
is pretty
Got a
cool.
Big Brother option, and he's got a Giant Club option. So very standard gianty, and fits into the unit, into the army, like you would expect. So go on. 2 new options for his weapons.
Yeah, so Giant Club
Shield.
we all know about. Big Brother option we all know about. Tower Shield we'll leave till last, and the Vaneb Blessed Maul. So the Vaneb Blessed Maul becomes flaming attacks, which is nice again with the synergy.
Yep.
Choose unit with 6 inches, and you can pass your flaming attacks on. That's nice.
Yeah.
I quite like that as a rule.
I'm not sure how the fluff works for that, but it's good.
Yeah, it's like throwing fire at
Yeah.
Catch it, boys.
Weapons, boys.
But yeah, so that one I quite like. I quite like the rule and stuff. Tower Shield I don't like.
Go on then. Oh.
I
Why
mean,
don't you like it? Because it's good, or
it's
because you
not
don't like
just
it?
good. I've looked at this, right? So for the same points, it gets hard cover, which is not which is not that hard target 1. It's hardcover, so it's hard target 2.
Yeah.
To anything in front rank, but you're using the model, so it's going to be everything, and distracting. And as it gets, so things can hit this on 5s. I know not a lot,
well, yeah.
but you can hit a giant on a 5, and I'm glad it doesn't give any armor because then it means your armor free up. I don't know.
But you've got to remember that in some ways you want a giant to take wounds for its rage ability. So the fact that you're getting distracting,
this makes this good. I mean, it's one of the first ones I'm looking at it and I'm going. My big thing with this is you're not gonna take Giant Club or Vanabesimal. For the same points you get Tower Shield. Now
I guess so. That is kind of an issue.
That's the big thing, is that they're all the same points, which means you will never see Giant Club or Vanabesimal.
Okay.
I like the idea.
Says lucky sixes.
Yeah, no. I mean, until they change that. Once they change, this needs to be double the others.
Okay.
At least.
Interesting.
And even then, I think...
I'm not so sure double, but yeah, okay.
I think if double's cheap, still.
Distracting is very good.
I think this needs to be 60 and the others need to be 20.
I suppose when you look at it, it's not just distracting, it's also hardcover. So yeah.
It's hardcover and distracting. It's not hard target and distracting, it's hardcover. I don't know, I can't see this staying the same for long. So if you've got Infernal Dwarves and a Giant, take this option and really enjoy it while it lasts.
Yeah, something like that. Awesome. So that was a really good coverage of the book, wasn't it?
Well, we went into much more depth than I thought we would.
Talk about overstaying your time target by a long way. Oops.
But
sorry about that, boys.
Obviously, just looking at the thing as well, there's a quick reference sheet, as there is always. Which is nice as well. But that concludes our very in-depth review.
I hope you enjoyed it, guys.
Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for sticking with us and listen to us guys rabble on and on. This is only actually part 1 of 3.
Yes, it is. Yeah, we're having a proper series on this, aren't we?
So, as well as this wonderful review, we will have a much shorter video coming up very soon, which will be us picking 2 lists of things that we like.
One for you and one for me.
Yeah. So between this video and that video, we're going to be picking lists. We'll go through them. We'll say what we like. We'll see what synergies we've come up with and what army composition we've done. And then part 3 of our series is going to be a Battle and Civil War Infernal Dwarves.
My list against yours.
Yeah, and we're going to play them up against each other. So if you've seen them before, the Battle and Beers, then it's just basically 2 players playing on UB and loads of people heckling them and stuff like that and drinking. And we're going to be the 2 players and we're going to Infernal Dwarf it up with the new book.
Yeah, we are. Yeah. So we'll set out the date for that as soon as possible.
Yeah. So join us for that. We'll probably set the date at the end of the next video of the list building one. But yeah, we won't take any more of your time, guys. Thank you. Well done for putting up with it. How exciting a new book it always is.
Like, share, subscribe.
Yeah. Hit me up on Twitter. Hit us up on Facebook. Forum. As always, we're there. Good night and God bless.
See you later.